Welcome back to RnR's coverage of E3. We are in the day 2 of our recap. And to start out, we have Peter.
Hello again.
Tom.
I am back.
Dave.
Hello.
Myself. And joining us, we have a special guest, Mark. Yes, he's very excited. Okay, so to start out, we're going to kind of do a follow-up on yesterday with the PS4 and Sony just beating the living bejesus out of Microsoft. And then today they announced some other new things, one of them being a continuation on the used games. What they did was the same thing that Microsoft is doing, where third-party developers are in complete control with the used games. So if you're trading, it's the developers that choose if you have to pay an online fee like EA used to do. And then, Tom, you had another thing.
To do with whether or not sharing it with your friends. That's just trading in.
Yes, this is just trading it into GameStop or something like that, not giving it over to a friend.
Right.
And in other news, Sony taking another jab at Microsoft. They announced that they will have removable hard drives, so you can actually access them and upgrade if you feel it necessary.
Yeah, I really like that idea because with the Xbox right now, we have how many gigs? 200. I have around 200, and I'm almost used up. Tom, yours is almost used up.
I'm down.
I mean,
37.
we're gonna with the Xbox One, we have 500 gigs, but they said a huge portion of that's going to be taken out.
Did it say what kind of connection it's going to be? Like, if it was going to be a SATA 2 or a SATA 3 and whatnot? I'm assuming so, since SATA is pretty standard right now.
Yeah, it's
I'm
probably
assuming
gonna be
that
some
you're
kind
the
of
only one that knows what you're talking about.
Fucking me. It's probably going to be some kind of I'm not going to say this word anymore. It's going to be their own technology that they use to adapt the SATA port, and it'll probably snap into some kind of enclosure like we've seen in other hard drives.
Okay, so you could probably stick a solid state in there, and I wonder if that would make things load faster.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, you wouldn't
they
get
haven't
nearly
discussed
as
anything.
you wouldn't get nearly as much space otherwise, at least for the price point, but it might just run things faster if you're just a casual gamer.
Another huge thing about Microsoft not having removable hard drives is the fact that if you wanted to go out and buy a new system, you wouldn't be able to swap out your hard drive. You'd have to actually send it in to get it changed.
Well, no,
Or you'd
you have
to go through
you have the
trouble of
cloud
moving
thing
it.
going on instead, don't you?
But will cloud save everything?
I don't know. It saves all of your games, supposedly. I mean, it's the 24-hour connect thing so that you can constantly put your saves and whatnot onto it. They haven't really talked a whole lot about it. I'd like to hear more about it. But continuing on, we have a few new games that they announced yesterday and showed us more about that they're finally coming to the Xbox One. All 4 of these are huge for all of us. We have Kingdom Hearts 3. Isn't that the first time it's going to be on Xbox?
Yeah.
That's always been a PlayStation exclusive, which is really exciting.
Right. Didn't they release some of the? I believe they released some of the Kingdom Hearts games for DS.
Game Boy. They had them for the Game Boy, yeah.
But I don't think.
So they had
I think it's
a
always
little
been a
thing
Sony and Nintendo thing.
Yeah. And then we got Final Fantasy 15. There you go, Dave. You could continue your reign of playing Final Fantasies.
Yay.
And then they announced Destiny while we were recording yesterday, which is extremely exciting. Not surprising, though. And then finally, the most exciting of the entire group is Elder Scrolls Online will be on the Xbox One. I can't wait.
Slay some dragons with some buddies.
Yep. All right,
Very
so
exciting.
now we're going to move on into what happened today, which, starting out, it was Nintendo. One of the first things that they released was confirmation of 14 new titles that they're doing that are third-party So that's going to be for the Wii U and the 3DS. You got the new Assassin's Creed is coming out. Both of the Batman games, Batman Origins, Deus Ex, Human Revolution Director's Cut. I don't really care too much about that one. Disney Infinity. That one, I think, is going to be... I think they're kind of drawing that out kind of like Skylanders, where you have little avatar toys that you can use for characters and whatnot. And I
always thought the concept of Skylanders was really cool. Just I never got into it.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's directed towards younger children.
Right. I'm assuming all of those are the non-Nintendo exclusives, right?
Yes, these are both with the Wii U and the 3DS. And, what else we have? Just Dance 2014, Rayman Legends. Finally getting another Scribblenauts. I haven't played any of those. It's just been a while since they've showed up. Disney's Planes, off of I think they're bringing that with the movie and what have you. They're making a new Skylanders. It's called Swap Force. Then Shin Megami Tensei 4. That one it's a pretty cool fighter. It's got some pretty good lore and whatnot. It's primarily been PlayStation and whatnot, I think. And then Blacklist for Splinter Cell is coming, which I have no intentions of playing on either of those. I'll leave that to my Xbox. And then the one that I would definitely get is Sonic Lost World. I love Sonic. And then the final one is Watch Dogs. I'll leave that to my Xbox as well.
Right. And of course,
any of those are you guys excited for? Granted, I think, am I the only one with the 3DS?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, suck it, bitches. I'm going to have Sonic. All to myself. Okay, well then, other than that, we got a few new titles that they were releasing. They finally showed us an Zelda Link to the Past 2.
That looked really great.
I cannot wait for this. I am a huge fan of every Zelda game that's come out.
I can't believe I missed that one.
Well, sucks to be you.
Dang it!
I mean, I'm playing through Ocarina of Time on the 3DS right now. I'd love that series, like all of those games. I had a Link to the Past, the first one, way back in the day. Loved that. All of those. It's just phenomenal.
They also announced the Wind Waker remake, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did. They're doing a HD remix.
Remake, yeah. It looked really good. I never actually played the first Wind Waker, so I'd be willing to pick it up.
Yeah.
I, however, did, which is strange. But yeah, I played that for the GameCube, and I know. I mean, it was a really different pace of Zelda game than some of the classics we had come to grow and love. But it stood up pretty well as its own game, and I'm not sad it's getting a remake.
Well, good. All right. Another one that is more tailored towards Tom and I is the announcement of Pokemon X and Y. We finally got a release date for it, which October 12th, 2013. And then we also got told of a new type of Pokemon. It's a fairy.
Fairy type.
Fairy type.
I think it's a joke.
I just laughed the entire time. I mean, out of nowhere, they're like, okay, Meryl is going to be a fairy. That one, I think they just pulled out their ass. Like,
Yeah.
let's this one kind of looks like Jigglypuff. Let's add this one.
I don't understand the reasoning behind fairy type. I mean, I can understand a need for a type to counter dragon, but
Well, it is that exactly.
Yeah.
So, anybody else have anything about Nintendo that they really want to talk about? I mean, they didn't really offer a whole lot of console gaming anything.
Yeah.
They kind of are pulling everything towards the Wii U.
Well,
I know one thing that I just really liked was Super Mario 3D World. They had a full 20 minutes with the IGN on that game, and it looked brilliant. But I mean, I'm still not going to go pick up a Wii U for that. There's been nothing that's just been mind-blowing enough to make me want to buy it.
Well, it seems they tried to put in enough effort this time around to kind of like bring some of the games that people were really expecting and then got pissed that they didn't get. They announced the new Smash Bros. That's a big deal. The Mario Kart and the new Super Mario game are usually three of the things you expect to see with any new Nintendo console, and they just weren't there when the Wii U came out.
Yeah, they did announce they talked more in depth about the Smash Brothers for the 3DS, which I'm excited about because Mega Man's in it.
Yeah.
And the awesome thing about that is with the reveal trailer for that, it went through a bunch of the powers that he can get, which were like the chips that you could get from defeating a boss, and it had, I think, at least 10 different moves that you could do with those, which was really cool. And then the other person was the villager from Animal Crossing. I don't really know how. I don't really know how that's gonna work out all too much.
I've been a fan of Super Smash Bros., but I don't think I'd honestly pick up a 3DS or Wii U for it.
The way they released the 3DS is it really disappointed me because there were several times where I was looking at it and I was like, well, is it time for me to go ahead and pick one up? But every time I went to buy one, they were always talking about the new one that was coming out. So, I mean, I kind of went for abstinence until they decided which one was going to be the actual, DS console.
Yeah, I have an original 3DS and an original DS, so I have the brick DS.
I have one as well.
Awesome. But my 3DS, I waited for a while, and then they announced Fire Emblem Awakening, and had a console game pack for it, and I just jumped on it. It looked awesome, and it looks awesome, and it's fun to play. Love that game.
So do we think the 3DS is going to be the handheld thing for the while now?
I mean, you got the PS Vita, Wii U, and the 3DS.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things are moving towards mobile gaming, so there's nothing huge about these. It's just kind of just one of those things. Like, would you like to play a console on the go?
And I wouldn't be surprised if the 3DS became a more prominent thing because Nintendo already has the tablet controller itself, so it wouldn't be much of a stretch to port games to that and have them connect to each other.
Oh, kind of implement the 3DS in the Wii U gaming?
Yeah, because that's kind of almost what it implemented with the Super Smash Bros. It had them on the tablet and the 3DS, and then it showed them transforming into the Wii U. So, I mean, that could have just been that it's on both systems, but I could also take that as it has compatibility with each other.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That's almost like the Vita PS3 connection sort of thing.
Yeah.
Didn't they also have, your phone was able to be integrated in that somehow? I know they're planning on doing that with a lot of the next-gen games, where you can work on something through either the console, an iPad, or something like that, and then your phone as well.
Right. They haven't
that's what they're doing with Destiny and Smart Glass and whatnot.
They haven't actually confirmed any kind of tablet capability for the PS4, but we have seen numerous times them working with tablets on stage that were obviously not the Vita.
Yeah.
So, the other mechanic that, or the other game that they announced a big mechanic change for that we've all played, at some point in its incarnation in history was they are now going to be adding an anti-grav mechanic to Mario Kart.
I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't really look into it at all. What did you guys think?
I thought it was actually a really cool thing because instead of just running off of a single flat track, you can now have a circular track, which is, quite honestly, it brings me back to the Sonic days.
Yeah.
Running through the tracks to get the Chaos Emeralds and whatnot. And
Can
it also, with the new Sonic game, I don't know if you guys saw a whole lot about that, but a lot of their tracks are going to be 3D circular like that as well. So
That's cool. All I could think while I was watching that trailer was, don't push the red button.
All right. So, any closing thoughts on Nintendo?
I did want to talk a little bit about the way they presented their conference. I don't know how much of you guys kind of like watched the after recaps instead of just watching what they presented.
I just read articles.
For the most part, they had one guy. Well, actually, 100%. They had one guy setting up all the clips. I'm guessing it was. It seemed like it was pre-recorded. I mean, I guess it could have been live. But I was really disappointed with their presentation if it was a pre-recording, because it seemed like their presenter was an important guy, was a nice guy, he was a knowledgeable guy, but he didn't have any kind of sense of how to pronounce words or add inflection to them, which made it really, really hard to listen to the guy.
I understood him just fine.
Well, aren't you special?
But then again, I watch a lot of anime, so...
Yeah. I know Tom watched some of that with me.
Yeah, I was having not so much trouble understanding him, but the interest to keep listening.
Yeah, he just seemed overall very monotone.
Yeah, very stale, boring.
Well, there's been a lot of that lately, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't have Aisha Tyler for every showing.
It's not.
So, honestly, I'm pretty excited about the new Sonic game. As I mentioned before, it's got the circular map aspect for it. It's going to have multiple paths, which brings it back to the Genesis games. You could also play Sonic and Knuckles, I believe is what they said, which also ties back into the Genesis series. So I'm pretty excited about that. Not too excited that they didn't bring back Dr. Eggman. He's been the staple bad guy for the longest time. I'll always see him as the big bad guy. And when they bring somebody else in, it just doesn't feel quite the same to me. But I'm hoping this will turn it around. And hopefully they make a good game. He's also tied on for 2 other games. So we'll see how that goes. Mentioned before, I can't believe I missed the Link's Awakening, or the Link to the Past 2. Can't believe I missed that part of the video. The HD remake of Wind Waker looks really good. I'd be super excited to play it. Super Mario 3D World, it looks just absolutely fantastic, but I'm not too keen on the cat suit.
You're not?
No,
I thought it was adorable.
It's adorable, but they seem to be bringing out a new suit every Mario game, and the only suit that I think could be worse than that is the Bumblebee suit. I thought that was just stupid.
There's a Bumblebee suit in one?
Yeah, it showed it in the video.
I mean,
Yeah.
if there are 2 things you can set your clock on, it's Call of Duty and new Super Mario games, and with a new suit in them. I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all that they went with a new suit.
Yeah,
In my mind, the cat suit isn't any dumber looking anyway than the raccoon suit.
Yeah, the cat suit's gonna have its uses, and cats are absolutely adorable. So I think it's better than the Bumblebee suit.
Now, the thing that'll just win the internet is if the power-ups are now Pop-Tarts.
Mario Kart 8, as I mentioned, is also, it can start out circular with the anti-grav, which looked really, really cool. The game just looks absolutely beautiful. I would be curious to see what other characters they bring into the game that you can play with and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, you also got to remember that, the Wii U is just now entering the high def. It was the first Nintendo high def console, which is something we've had with our other consoles for a couple of years now.
Yeah. One thing that we did, actually a couple of games that we didn't touch up on was the Donkey Kong game. I think looks amazing. I remember playing the Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo and absolutely loving it. I was a little skeptical when they said that they were going to make a new one for the Wii U because it honestly looked quite stupid. But watching the video for it this time, it actually looks pretty good.
You know, one game about Donkey Kong that I wish they would bring back was Donkey Kong 64. Did you ever play it? That was so much fun. You gotta have all of his friends and whatnot and playing that, and it was a Super Mario 64 Donkey Kong style.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. And another game that we didn't touch up on was Dat Bayonetta 2.
Ooh. Yes.
That's all you and Tom.
Yep.
I'm surprised that we didn't really touch up on it, but the game looks absolutely gorgeous. And quite honestly, it came as a surprise to me that they announced that game for the Wii U, because for the longest time, Nintendo has been straight kiddie-type game stuff, going nowhere near that kind of...
It'll be nice to see them step into more serious games.
That was my first thought when I saw that trailer. I was like, oh, Nintendo's finally coming out of their shell. The kids that they've been pandering to for the past decade are now grown up. It's time that they step up the games. So I'm really excited to see that, and I'm hoping that they provide more games like that, and maybe even have a couple rated M games. That would be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't too long ago we were the kids that were being pandered to.
Yeah, they seem to be going in cycles. I grew up with the Super Nintendo, and then they went back down to kids. Grew up a little bit, went back down to kids, and now we're just seeing the new cycle of that.
Yeah.
And
did they release Ghosts? Did they say anything about Ghosts being on the Wii
U? Yes. I think. Well, yes, maybe. I think I touched on it. I don't know. I already deleted my list because I'm trying to unclutter my screen. But I think they usually have Call of Duty on stuff like that, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Wonder if they're gonna have a Gatling gun with an insert for the Wii U tablet.
Dave, did you actually play the first Bayonetta?
No, I did not.
Oh. It is such a great game.
Yeah, I heard a lot about it, and I've seen other people play it, but I've never actually played it myself.
You disappoint me, sir.
Was that it for what we had with Nintendo?
I think so.
I'd go with yes. Okay, so moving on. After Nintendo finished, we started getting into the games themselves. And it started out with Dead Rising 3. Did anybody really pay much attention to it? I mean, there was... it pretty much just displayed the demo again, but they did that with a lot of these and just talked about the functionality of the game.
The one thing that I caught right off the bat was when he's running from the zombies and he hops up on top of the house and throws a cinder block through the glass roof. You can see in there, it's all nice and bright. When he hops down there, it's fucking pitch black. It's like, that's not how lighting works. And I didn't like the fact that when he was inside a house that had windows and stuff, it was still pitch black.
Did they have shades over the windows? Blankets?
It still shouldn't be that dark. Like, it was ridiculously dark. And I like games that have that whole suspense thing, but when you can't see your hand in front of your face type stuff, it just seems really, really stupid.
Well, I mean, it was like dusk at the time, almost.
Yeah,
but
that
still,
was,
yeah, exactly what you were saying. It was really dark. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, unless it's when he opens that door, he magically teleports to the basement.
Yeah, and also, what was it? It was after he hopped down into the house, picked up a gun, attached a light to it, turned it on, got attacked by zombies, and then opened the door and walked out. It was still dark until he walked out.
And then it just shined up again.
And then it magically got all super bright and whatnot. It's like, okay, again, that's not how lights usually work and whatnot. But, okay. I'm really hoping that they have a time schedule like they did with the first Dead Rising and whatnot, and they actually implement that. I really hope it doesn't stay dusk like that for forever.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the big things about the next-gen consoles is living worlds, so I'm sure we can hope to see that.
Yeah, they're having the living worlds with a lot of new games. Like, you're seeing plenty of these with the advertisement of living worlds.
Yeah. The one thing I actually noticed about Dead Rising 3, at least it seemed like I couldn't really tell with the guy playing with the controller, was that when he hopped in the vehicle and started ramming into zombies, when he got to a huge group, his vehicle slowed way down. Which, in the first one, that didn't happen. You could hop in an ambulance and just plow through zombies for days until you got that 52,363 kill for the town achievement, I believe is how much it was. I spent like 12 hours doing that.
Just going down into the tunnels, running down zombies.
Yeah, back and forth, back and forth. And I got that achievement finally for the Mega Man Buster, which was... I'm actually kind of hoping that they have more little things like that, actually, like the...
crossover things?
Yeah, the Mega Man Buster and that kind of stuff. I really hope that they have those again. Or Lego heads. Those were the greatest.
Yes, throwing them on zombies, just pushing them around.
I mean, I guess it's not really an Easter egg if it's implemented into the main game.
Yeah. Well, the Mega Man Buster, you literally had to do that, complete the game by doing that, make sure you got a certain ending, and then you could start a new game that way. I mean, you wouldn't know about it elsewise.
Cool. All right. Well, the next game that showed up for us was Rise. They continued with showing off the same things that they did yesterday, but they announced the multiplayer, which is really cool. What it is it's going to be a Coliseum type thing. It's Coliseum co-op, where you go up and back in ancient Rome and do exactly what they used to do in the Coliseum, fighting all sorts of things, which I thought was an awesome idea. Perfect setting for it as well. They announced the story behind the guy, how he is trying to find himself. He was the son of a prominent Roman legionnaire or whatever, and just kind of grows up and whatnot. But one of the things that was really cool to me was the fact that you are, at points, you are a general. So you start out fighting things and whatnot, and as you continue through the story, you become a general. When you're fighting up at the front, you seem like a soldier, but at the same time, you can give speech commands, and your Kinect will pick it up and shoot pretty much. Like during one point in the demo, there's a prompt to say fire, and then the cannon, like the trebuchet, throws that giant boulder into another one, and you can do that over the Kinect as well, which was really cool to me.
Like, you could actually say the word fire and it would?
I think, yeah, that's what they were going with on that one.
That would be awesome. You're sitting in your living room, fire!
That will wake up the neighbors. Confuse the hell out of them.
Yeah, I think we're getting ready to be known as the generation of annoying gamers.
Oh, most definitely.
Every gamer will have to invest in some curtains, I assume.
Some sound dampening tape and whatnot. So the next was Forza, but none of us care about it, so we're skipping it.
Yeah, we'll have to get Cole on here to talk about that sometime.
Yeah, we have one person within our community that's huge on motorsports, so we'll let him deal with it whenever. Then they showed another demo for Project Spark.
Oh my god.
My jaw dropped. The stuff that they could do with that was just wonderful. You can start with an empty world and just make your land canvas. Blank canvas, make your land look however you want. You can. The cool thing was when you were doing the paint thing. You remember that? that it would have grass, and if it went off to the side of a cliff, it would have the rock face. If you went up a hill, it would have a rock face. If you were out and about, it would generate random trees and whatnot. It was just really cool. And then there were the different maps that other people had made and the games that you can make in it. They made a tribute to Wings, which, if anybody played the N64 version, it was awesome. And just continued with that. Like, the possibilities that they can do for that is just ridiculous. It's Forge on steroids.
The coolest thing I saw about it was by far adding brains to objects. Like the guy having the birds fly up into the air and explode midway, the rocks following you, and then it taking off with the birds after that.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Did they make any mention on how big the world you could make would be?
Yeah, it showed it in the demonstration.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was going to be huge, but I didn't see a ceiling, so you could make it really high. Like cool. The Wings level that they did was pretty big, pretty large overall. So, anybody else have any thoughts on Spark?
Can't wait for the damn game.
Yeah, me either.
What?
Orcs.
Okay. Okay. So next up, Titanfall.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Yes.
I continued to just love that. They said that it was going to be multiplayer based. So you're not going to have a single player campaign, but there's going to be like training missions that you can do to get better at it. But the way that it looked with us talking about making it conventional so that your mech wasn't completely overpowered, the interview was just wonderful, and him telling us no, they're very well balanced, and at times having a mech will actually be something that you don't want to do.
Like, I'm pretty sure you said that there was a campaign.
I heard otherwise. Like,
save it for later.
We can check back and recall it tomorrow. But
the video that I watched on Titanfall showed the guy dropping down a Titan, him popping into it, the Titan grabbing him and throwing him in there was really cool. And then the Titans moved really fluid, like actual like human movement, which was really cool. And it actually showed that it honestly didn't feel like, or at least it didn't seem like it felt like you hopped into a mech and you were sluggish. It felt like the mech was an extension of you.
Yeah, and they said that they were trying to pull up that and try to get that as fluid as possible to continue with what you said.
It seems that I liked how when you got into the mech, every panel in front of you turned into a screen, and you could see the lines between it and the sides of your cockpit. I really like that idea. I think that's a really cool idea. I also like the explosive emergency jetpack boost out of the cockpit, dropping down on top of them and destroying them. I thought that was really, really cool.
I really liked the railgun kill that one of those guys got. Like, he destroyed the mech, the guy ejected, and then he just shot him out of the sky. Like, I loved that. And then the gun that you could use as a pilot is what the infantry are called. When you're a pilot, you have a almost grenade launcher type weapon that just destroys those Titans. It looked really well balanced.
I don't know if I'm right on this one or not, but the first time he hopped out of his mech to go into the building to kill a couple of guys that were there, he turned around and I thought somebody had hopped into his mech, took over for a second, and then hopped back out, but I wasn't too sure. Did any of you catch that?
I think it was moving on its own because he immediately jumped in. I didn't see anybody get out.
He slid under it, the Titan picked him up and threw him in. So I'm wondering if when you bail out of the Titan for a bit, if it actually has a small AI that takes over and just kind of guards itself instead of just laying there prone. waiting for it to blow up.
Yeah, that was
If you looked
something
on
we touched on a little bit yesterday. That we were theorizing about the AI in there.
Yeah. Well, they did say that the people that you're playing with are not bots. They're AI that learn from things going on.
See, I told you, I touched up on this yesterday with the whole cloud thing.
Yeah. That's gonna be awesome.
If you looked at the bottom left of the gameplay, there was actually a little text box that said it was little options for the Titan. It was like follow or defend or something like that. I don't know if you guys picked up on that. And Matt, to clarify, you are correct. It is a multiplayer only, but it has some single player sort of things feel to it.
Success. All right, let's move away from Titanfall. We're all excited, and we'll probably continue to just, drop our jaws every day for no apparent reason on it. Okay, I didn't really see anything that was too exciting up until Ghosts. What about you guys? In between Titanfall and Ghost, like Super Mario World, yes, but we've touched on that.
Aside from that, I mean,
meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
All right. Well, Ghosts. It looked gorgeous, and from the gameplay, the dog actually didn't seem like it was going to be a hindrance. It seemed like it was a great idea. Like you can use the dog in the same way that you would have like a drone, except you can also have that bark at enemies to get people to come out for a trap. And then there was the time when the guy busted out the window, the dog jumped in and brought an entire group of bad guys out through the door. I think the things that you could do on that, setting up traps and things, are just endless. It just looked awesome.
I think that's a brilliant decision on their part to add the companion.
Yeah, I'm glad that they turned away from Modern Warfare and decided to start anew with everything.
Honestly, I wasn't really expecting much from Ghost, but this E3, they actually showed off some stuff, and they announced some things about it, and that actually looks really good. Actually looks like a Call of Duty that I would want to play.
Yeah.
The new engine they were showing off is just outstanding looking.
Oh, yeah. But they said it was like the new engine for the next gen, which I kind of, I'd like them to. I know the engines can be used for a long time, but I'd like to see them just continue doing more and more stuff instead of sit on this one thing for 10 years.
Yeah. Were we looking at Ghost to be a 360 and PS3 release as well as the new gen, or is it only new gen?
I am not sure.
We will have
I know it's a next
take a
gen,
look at it right
but
now.
yeah, Tom, you find that out. Let's move on to Destiny. Today, what they showed was they showed the demo again and had somebody from Bungie talk over it and tell us some more about it, which it was really awesome. They answered a lot of questions that I had. It's really like Borderlands in the mixed with Halo and all of that. Like you have a giant loot system that you can get from all of the epic bosses that you go and fight and whatnot, and you can update those at all times, and it will keep those upgrades. Instead of having to like trade in a gun, you can just put it somewhere. But some of the big things from that I really liked were you get a personal speeder bike, personal spaceship. They announced PvP, and there's one other thing that I'm just blanking on right now, but it was just awesome thing. Raids was the other thing. So you have your big time events like they showed off there, and then you could do raids, which could be more or less people. Like it's just the possibilities are awesome.
Ghosts is for Xbox 360 and PS3, or at least they're taking reservations for it, so I'm assuming it is.
Okay, cool. Anybody else have any thoughts on Destiny?
Destiny? I just flat out can't wait for it. Open world, consistent world, beautiful graphics. Gameplay.
You guys thinking about waiting to pick it up for One or PS4 or 360?
Well, they haven't really announced the release date. I know Bungie likes to have things in November, and the Xbox One comes out in November. We're thinking, a lot of people are saying really early November is when the Xbox One's going to come out. So I'm just going to look at those dates. I'd really like to play it on the Xbox One, but I'd also like some cross-console gaming.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's the Xbox One, Xbox 360. Not everybody's going to have one or the other. So it'd be great to play with your friends, even if they were on, like, the 360.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I mean, they allowed that for Halo 2, right? Yeah, you could play Halo 2 on multiplayer on both the Xbox and the Xbox 360. You could still play with all your friends and whatever, just because it's through that Xbox Live. So I'd like to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have any extra thoughts on Black Flag?
Black Flag? I mean, we talked about how flawless the transitions were in the gameplay. You know, from cutscene to live, from live to driving a ship. Some of the naval combat they showed was very consistent with what they showed in AC3. It seemed that they had removed. They might have done this for cinematic purposes, but it seemed that they had removed some of the indicators and stuff to kind of tell you like where your cannonballs were going to go.
They had some dots or whatever on it that were kind of showing. I think there were slight trails, but I don't know. I might be talking out of my ass.
Yeah, I know.
One of the cool things
they just had like literal angle guidelines that kind of showed you.
Okay, yeah, it was it wasn't something that you had to do, so I kind of shied away from it. But in Black Flag, the cool thing is when you go to a ship, you can either destroy it, plunder it, or take it for your own. And you can put it into your own fleet and have a fleet of ships that can go out and plunder for you and bring in revenue.
That's handy.
Yeah, and then your person is upgradable. So you start out with, they said you start out with 1 gun and you can upgrade yourself to 4, which I thought was really cool. Just the way that you could have a fleet go out, get you shit, and then do all of this other stuff. But you can upgrade your ship as well, and there are areas that are already that are open to you from the beginning, but you can't get to them until you upgrade your ship high enough so that you can beat out the other ships that are there.
Oh, I see. Do you think that that's maybe going to be the way they kind of replace? I know in in AC2 through Revelations, you had the ability to basically buy out all of the vendors in a city and make your money for the game that way. Do you think that the pirate fleet is going to be the way you basically invest and get income in that game?
That's my guess, but it's so early in showing what really the game's all about that we can't say a lot about it yet.
Yeah, I mean that's my basic assumption of how it's going to go. That or you're going to end up owning a lot of seaside shanty bars.
Which I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, wouldn't hurt our feelings any.
What was your guys' opinion on Tom Clancy's The Division?
I really like it a lot. I really want it now after seeing everything that's happened. I'm excited as a little girl. But it's just a new and inventive idea that I think is just kind of awesome. Like there's an epidemic and you have to go out and forage for everything. Like that's almost by now a used up principle, but the way that they've done it is very new and awesome. I mean, they set it up in New York City, and you have to get like bullets, you have to go to a police station. I know I said that yesterday, but you have to do a bunch of different ways to like preserve the city in your division and whatnot. And then there are different forces that every day that you're not playing, they're actually still going around and doing shit against you, which I think was really cool. So that's the live world that's still going on.
Yeah. A game. I don't believe we talked about this one yesterday. I don't know if they did any press release on it, but did we have any thoughts on Second Son, the new Infamous game?
Second Son. Tom and I talked about that. We both love it.
Oh, okay.
I love the idea of fire now instead of electricity.
Another thing my brother pointed out to me is supposedly he can pick up powers off of other people, I guess. Like, almost absorb their powers, I guess, is what he was talking about.
I didn't hear anything about that. That's very interesting. That's a game changer right there.
I guess that's how you get, like, new powers and stuff. But if that's the case, I guess it would have to be, like... They would almost have to be, like, bosses that you got your powers from.
Yeah, that would make it an RPG, whatever. Did you guys look at Thief at all?
Thief?
No.
I'm really excited for Thief. The original was the shit, and this one looks just amazing overall. Like, they still haven't done a lot of it. It's a while from now, but it just looks awesome.
Yeah, I don't know much about the series. I'm interested to take a bit more look at it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to derail us for a second to recognize something that we were really wondering about a couple of months ago, but the issue has kind of died down since we've realized that it's going to be a non-issue. But it does not look like there's going to be any cost increase on the new generation of games.
Yeah, I saw that when I was at a GameStop today, and the price for the games for the next generation were still the same, which I am grateful for. I mean, it only went up $10 from the Xbox to the Xbox 360.
Right.
And
it
everything
seems
shot up.
Its spot for where it's going to stick around for a while.
Yeah. But who knows? They could increase it. They could not. Just all depends.
Yeah. But the fact that they're taking pre-orders at this price point seems to suggest there's a pretty good chance it's going to stick where it's at.
Mm-hmm. Well, any other games that you guys want to touch on for the night?
I believe I had them all.
I know Dark Souls looked ridiculous. I know I'm just going to leave that to somebody else to play because I shoot myself. That game is impossible. The guy that was demoing it had a tough time, and he had been playing it for a long time. So yeah, I'll just leave that to a friend of mine. He likes that punishing himself all the time.
How much is Dark Souls?
I know Corey played the first Dark Souls.
Is it 2 or 3 this time around?
Two.
It's the third game, but Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2, Masochism revamped.
Yeah. Tom, did you pay any attention to The Walking Dead? I know you played the first season, didn't you?
Yeah, didn't really understand much about it. I guess it's like based off of 5 different characters now.
Yeah, it's 5 different chapters that span in 400 days, and it's the length of one chapter in the first season, and it's just kind of a barrier in between season 1 and 2. Like, I didn't play the first one. I'd like to. It
is a really great game.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, right. Well, continue. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I got really nothing much else on Walking Dead aside from the 5 chapters.
Alrighty then. Closing thoughts, Peter? Thoughts, ideas, compliments?
They took away my ability to have thoughts.
You can compliment me if you want to.
You're a very pretty lady.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, once again, great E3. The expanding that they're doing on the games, the developers, they don't seem to be wanting to do what we've normally seen for E3, which is give us a 20-second teaser and then let us wonder. We're actually getting real information on the games because I think honestly just the level of brutality in this console war is requiring it at the moment. But cool. I really like the fact that we're not being left in the dark this time around and left to guess, until you've basically gone, $400 or $500 out of pocket and you find out you screwed up.
Dave?
I'm good. I'm really excited for Nintendo. They seem to be actually coming out with a lot of good things. I'm really hoping that Microsoft pulls its head out of its ass for a lot of this, and Sony seems to be doing a fantastic job so far.
Tom?
What he said.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. I know Sony has just been destroying Microsoft, and they definitely need to come up soon and quit being little bitches.
And that's coming from a Halo community, so that's about as unbiased as you're going to
get. Yeah.
Actually, we're biased in the other direction.
I think I'm the only major PlayStation fan in our community.
Yeah, I'll play some of the older games, but I will rarely ever buy a new game for my PlayStation.
So,
yeah, well, thank you for listening. This has been the Day 2 recap for E3. Tune in tomorrow for Day 3. What? Counting. All right, well, we are RnR. You can check us out at our webpage. That'll be posted in the description. I've been Matt.
I've been Peter.
I'm Tom.
You are? No way.
Shut up, girl, I know it.
That was Dave. He's kind of fat.
Oh.